and welcome to our live stream. Today we're going to play Pioneers of Pagonia with you. Hello everyone. We are Envision Entertainment and we're currently working on a pretty cool city builder game. My name is Katharina, I'm the social media manager, and next to me is sitting our creative director, Volker Wertich. Hi, yes. Volker.
Hi Katharina, and welcome everyone out there. So I hope you will enjoy this session of Pioneers of Pagonia.
And we're really excited here in Ingelheim, Germany. Our entire team is working on the last bits because in 2 days the early access is available on Steam, so we're pretty excited about that. And today we wanted to show you a little bit more about the game. You can also ask questions if you like. I have a look at the chat and try just to answer as many of them as possible. But today we're looking at some of the new features, so be patient with the questions. We just try our best.
Okay, thanks. And here we go. So I will explain you a few things about the game. We need to switch, I think, to see the game full screen. So first, we take a look at map generation. So if you want to start a new game, we have a few predefined maps here. And in a minute we will play one of these, but I also would like to show you that you can customize your own maps and create them. So if you choose customize, you basically have 4 main modes. You can choose to have objectives in the game that will be given from neutral villages without enemies, so you can play completely peaceful if you like, or the same with enemies, of course, which is a bit more pressure for you depending on how many enemies are there. You can also say, oh, I don't want these objectives, I just want to conquer the whole island, so to defeat all the enemies which are living on this island. And the fourth option is to play the sandbox, where you have no enemies, no objectives, and you can just play the way you like and experiment. And there's 2 customization levels. The easy one with templates is here, that you just choose a major difficulty, for example intermediate, and the landscape types that you like, for example, murky marshlands or steep mountains. Some of the terrain types are easier, some are more twisted and have less resources, so they are harder. And then you can say, generate this map and start the game. But you can also choose to go to the full customization level. That means here you will be able to customize the difficulty in more detail. You can define your landing party, how many units and how many commodities you have. You can also decide about the enemy types and the amount of enemies that live on this island, as well as the amount of villages and how difficult it will be to meet the objectives of those villages. That's about the difficulty level. And then we have the landscape. You can define different landscape types, how much of those landscape types should exist, what the climate style is, but also resources. Are there many resources, or are they really sparse? That's quite an important choice, especially the mining resources. They don't regrow. That means you have to be very careful if you don't have that many mining resources. Yeah, and this time, or what is also exciting is here, we have a map ID. That means that each map that you choose, all the settings that you define, and there's also a random seed in it, will be coded in a map seed. And this map seed can be then used to share maps, and you can copy it and share it with friends. But you can also visit our Discord server, and their players for sure will share a lot of seeds, and you can pick some of them and try yourself. Now we go back to the predefined maps. So we have 6 maps overall here. They are different style, like the first one is really a guidance map where you can get familiar with the game. And the other ones that you see here have objectives. Some are peaceful without enemies, and some have enemies. And maps 2 to 5 are comparably easy, so step by step they get a bit harder. And the 6th one is a bit different. That's of kind of, let's say, medium difficulty overall. And we will start that one and take a look here, so that I can show you also some of the new features in this play session. We will disable the guidance objectives because we know our way around, and start the game now. So, okay, first I have to change the scroll options because I'm a right mouse button scroller, not left mouse button, so I'm used to that now, and yeah, that's much better. Okay, so here's my ship initially with a lot of commodities loaded. The units are still inside the ship. We have an initial patch of land here that we already own. It's marked by the border stones. We get some information about the controls. which we can just confirm, and so we can start. So the first thing we do is we need to know more about our surroundings. So we place here an explorer and also some guard towers to extend the borders. I will place it this way and maybe one here on the other side, like here. And to keep most of the space available, I will initially do the road connections more at the beach to lose less valuable space here, which we can still use then for a lot of the buildings, maybe like this. Okay. So as soon as the initial buildings are placed, the units will automatically come from the ships, they will move out, carry, for example, here stones to raise those buildings. There's also a group of diggers heading to the construction site, so they will flatten the ground to make sure that the buildings can be placed on even ground. So the more steep landscapes are, the more work your diggers will have. Okay, explorer, to get more knowledge about the island, guard towers to extend our territory. What else do we need? Well, of course, we need resources to construct. So let's build woodcutters. There's really quite some trees here, so we can maybe place one woodcutter up here and a second one over here.
There was one question in the chat. Is the direction of the guard tower important?
It is in some way, because you can place it, of course, either way, and people are really walking each distance. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, is I placed it the way that the exit of the guard tower is facing the unexplored territory, because the guards will go here and pick up the stones and always head out. So this way it means the guards save some time, but the carriers need a bit more time to deliver the stones. So this is maybe a bit more efficient because the guard number is more limited than the carrier number. But I would say that's kind of already expert level minor decision. So you can place it the other way around and it will work just fine too. Okay, do some connection here. We have two woodcutters now in place. Since we have so much forest, here I don't need a forester initially, but I will tell the woodcutters to only cut the large trees that will preserve the forest a bit longer. But these trees here I would like to get rid sooner, so I will set the focus point of one woodcutter to this forest to make sure that these trees get removed over time, that I can use this space here to construct new buildings. You will also need a lot of advanced construction material, and but let's first take care of stones. We see there's some stone up here. We can't see more yet, that's in the fork, but let's place some quarries, at least one here, maybe even a second. We can do it this way. Again, it's the same for the quarry. I will place it this way because the miners then have a shorter distance to head out to the stones. They can only harvest the stones if they're in my territory, which is not yet the case. So that means as soon as they would try to get stone, they need this inside our territory. So I'll tell this guard tower to first claim this area to make sure that we get the stone here, the first chunk of stone, as soon as possible in our territory. Let's see on the other side, there's a lot of fork. We don't know what is here yet. So let's extend in this direction, and the explorer, which we have here, we tell the explorers to go north to reveal more of the landscape here so that we get more knowledge about our surroundings.
Someone writes in the chat that they always place the quarry and the woodcutter facing the road. So is this particularly wrong, or can you also play like that?
You can do that too. It works also, but as mentioned, it's a bit more efficient if you place it the other way around. At least you save, in that case, time of the workers, which are inside the building, and you have a bit more duties on the carriers if you do it the other way around, because obviously they have to work a bit longer. Now for the next buildings, for the sawmills and stonemasons, we need to decide where to place them. So stones are here, so maybe this would be a good place for the stonemasons, and forest is more in this direction, so we can maybe try to place the sawmills here. So still the trees are a bit in the way, we will do it here. Let's see, we can go up to here. That's a good location, I would say, but we will place it sideways. That's also a bit helpful that buildings which have a lot of traffic, if they don't use the main road does not that easily get a traffic jam, so that can also help.
Do the pioneers only choose the direct path, or how to avoid the traffic jam?
Yeah, the units which carry material and head from one building to another, they use the roads, and they always use the shortest distance, usually of roads that they can find. But also the traffic is analyzed, so if a specific route gets overcrowded, the units will also automatically choose another route if it's faster. Okay, we place a few stonemasons, 1, 2, and I think we even take a third one already. So now we are here already having 3 buildings to process the stone. I also need at least 1 more quarry, but I would like to know if there's more stones here or not before I will place another one, so I re-rake a bit. We also have to take care of food. Maybe since we have this connection here, we can now remove this part of the road so we get some more space again. Yeah, we need to take care of food, and if we can scout a bit, if we choose, for example, here a forager, and then we see there's absolutely nothing to forage in this area here, that's not good. And if you choose a hunter, then we see there's also no animals right now in this area, and that means basically that we should use something else. We should take care of food in a different way because we can't be sure yet what we will find, and this is a good reason to already at this early stage place a vegetable farm. So down here is a good place, I think. Do it here. It's first like this, and we can leave a bit of space for buildings on the side, maybe like this. And then let's see how far we get. Okay, here we get to the beach. We can't place any more farmland in this place, but we can do a bit more here at the other side of the road. Maybe we build the road here first to make sure there's enough space for the road to get out of this place. This looks okay, a bit more farmland. This is standard or so-called default grassland, and this is not the best kind of farmland, but at least it's basically suited. Cabbage doesn't really grow really good here in this area, but we can at least do some pumpkins. The pumpkins have the advantage that they can be used for both nutrition meals and pleasure meals, or comfort meals it's called right now. And that means that both population growth and the supply of miners can be done with pumpkins, but the value of pumpkins is not that great. So it's kind of a standard food we can do, and we can supply everyone at least. Okay. Let's go here. Direct connection. I guess this is enough farmland, so we can already check about in advance what we want to do. So food is already getting on its way. What we also need is a guild hall to make sure that we can train new units. Sooner or later, we will need new tools and new units to be trained. I would say this also could be a good place for the guild hall. A central place is not bad, but up here I will not be able to place the tool production anyway right now. And here I can still extend. I think I like this side more than the other one, so we will place it a bit here at the beach. That's our first building that needs advanced construction materials. It needs softwood beams and cut stone. These two will be crafted by the stonemasons and by the sawmills. The sawmills are already finished. They are currently getting supplied with tree trunks already, while the stonemasons are still under construction. Our explorers are already heading north. So what did they find? More forest, more meadows. Let's try a bit a different direction and see what they find.
There's another question from the chat. Will the value of the food be visible in early access?
We have additional tooltips and a kind of a food history planned. This is not yet available at early access, but it will be in an early game update, so that it's more easy to better understand which food has exactly which value. So, okay, let's start with now checking where we are extending. So this sandy grass is also very nice to plant corn. We could do this a bit later here. That's an excellent food for population. Up here we have more stones. Maybe it's a good place for the second quarry. Yeah, I think this one. Here we could do it. Maybe we can already place it in here. You can build the mining buildings also on stony terrain, like you see here. So we can use that and connect it. And we have a second quarry already then in place. That's good. On the other side, let's see, there's more wet terrain here. This is like mossy, and this ground is excellent for cabbage. So we could also plant a vegetable farm for cabbage in this area. So let's extend a bit more. Here maybe is a good place in this direction. Okay. Now it's like, as you know, there are enemies on this map. We didn't spot any yet, but they will probably, we will find them soon. And therefore we also need to prepare, because initially the enemies don't know that we are here. We are quite distant and we will not get attacks, but the clock is more or less ticking. We should take care of making sure that we are more or less somewhat prepared when we are getting attacked. And in this map difficulty that we have here, there's a few ghosts and a few werewolves are on the map, but it's mostly thieves and bandits that we are facing. So normal soldiers and will mostly be helpful for that, and some rangers will be necessary to make sure that we can spot the thieves. Let's claim this area here, and then we can maybe place recruitment buildings in this place.
Is the notification clickable, like on the left side?
Yes, they are. We've just received notifications. So I'm a bit sorry, but I have no audio here right now, so I will probably miss a lot of the notifications because I get no sound notification. Here we have now discovered the border of a village. So if we click the message, we get transported to the location. So you can see here there are kind of red-pink border stones. That means we found one of the mutual villages. There's also some buildings. We see a hunter and a forager in here, and then it gets more foggy. So we found another village, but now it would be interesting to find the city center of that village, because that will allow us to get more in contact, to start trades or learn about the objectives. So I will try to send my explorers deeper inside. One of the downsides here is that we see there are boars, and the boars will potentially chase away, like it just happens right now here, our explorers. So we need to place hunters in this area. Then we have the cabbage area. Yeah, I think it's enough here. We now go north to make sure that we can hunt the animals here, because we need to secure the area also if we want to have trade transports later. Okay. With a right click, we can also remove the messages as soon as we have a notification which we have already seen. There, with this, we can remove it and get space again for that. So let's see. There's more stone here. We didn't find metal yet. Oh, there's a bit of iron ore. That's nice. Not much, but a little bit. So why not? Let's place a ore hut here. Do we still get a path around that? Maybe we can get on the right here. Yeah, that works. We have no coal yet to melt the ore, so we need to find coal too. I think here we saw some. Exactly. So as soon as this area is secured, we can place a coal mine too. Now our first advanced building, the guild hall, is getting ready soon. All the material is already there or En route. Here we can see the carriers who bring material to the building are highlighted. And we see soon it will arrive, and the construction workers are already here and constructing the building. Then we can make sure that our tool and weapon production chain gets started. Let's place toolsmith and the wood workshop. Let's start with the wood workshop. Fits nicely in this location. So what can we create at the wood workshop? We can create bows for the hunter. Let's enable all the tools up here so we get more overview about all the tools we have available. And we see, well, there are still 3 bows available, so we are not in urgent need of bows. The wooden spears are for the simple guards. But for combat units, for the simple soldiers, we need the shields, so we will just put them to unlimited. The same with the torches. These are for the rangers. We will also put them to unlimited. And we also need some wooden cogwheels for some buildings, not for many, but for some. So I will tell the building to produce 6 of them. So I can already do this adjustment right after placing the building, so I don't have to wait until it's finished and come back. So you can plan quite in advance.
There was also a question about the guards. Do they have a health pool or is combat luck-based?
The units have combat value, and when there's a duel fighting with another unit, those 2 units, the victory chances depend on the combat values that those units have. But we don't have health values, so units don't get damaged. We don't need to draw back units which are kind of injured because that state doesn't really exist. So we want to make sure that the micromanagement level at combat is not that deep, because combat is an important feature of the game. But the economy, of course, is overall much more important, and we don't want to focus too much on combat. Okay, we see the pumpkins are already planted and growing, and well, they will be harvested any second. We didn't place a fountain, I think, so that's a bad idea. We have some water on the ship, but that will be gone soon, so let's urgently place a fountain. Do we have a nice gap maybe? Maybe we can just place it here. So that's a bit late. I will put it to priority to make sure it gets built fast. We can place even a bit more far lines here behind it. Okay. Yeah, so we have also placed now a toolsmith who will be able to craft, to enable us to craft new tools for new workers. Here we have the guild hall, and all the tools which are on the ship are now delivered to the guild hall. So we get a kind of a mini traffic jam here right now, but that's only because the initial delivery takes some time, but that will soon be done. Okay, what do we see up here? We have now gained this territory. I think it's time for hunters. So if you take a look, there's an incredible amount of animals in this forest, and also a lot of wild boars here. So we will even place 2 hunters here right from the start to make sure that we can hunt this area. Oh, so right now this is not our territory, so we need to build the path here in a bit more complicated way, but that's okay. So then we can already connect it. Otherwise we would have to wait a bit until we own this territory too. Let's see. Okay, this is already ours. Now we'll tell the guards to claim the territory here, which is in between in the gaps. There's still no forest plants up here. The forest is empty in that way, so no raspberries, no porcini sadly yet. But there's so much forest here, so we can place another woodcutter in this area to get rid of the trees here and get more space to construct. So let's place it here. With the hunters, we also can place provisioners to process the food and to create new food for our miners. And since the pumpkins are already being harvested now, it's time to build the tavern. Good place for the tavern could be maybe here. Like this. I think there's still enough space.
Tavern at the seaside.
Exactly. So let's see. Yeah, maybe like this. Let's place a road which still leaves some room here for tables. I think. Oh, that seems to fit. Let's try it this way. And place some tables here. Yeah, but here we still get a few. Okay, down here. Oh, there's not enough space here to get one inside, but we can do it here. I think that's enough tables for now. Okay, tavern and tables are placed. But we also need a marketplace in front. That would be a pity here, maybe do it from here. And have enough space for the market stalls. So this is a market fountain. This is kind of the center of the marketplace. And we need a few market stalls. Initially, we don't need that many, maybe place just 6 or 7. Can extend this a bit later. But we also need people to visit the tavern. So we will raise our first residential buildings now. So we have small cottages or bigger residences. So let's take a look what we have. We are having only 12 cut stones, but we have 35 boards. But we have a lot of stones and tree trunks, so we will not place the advanced version, but the simple version, because we are still lacking resources for the advanced version. So we have less pressure on our economy this way. So let's place a few of these. And we can even place one here. And use the gaps for storages later. Oops. And here we can go more.
What is the radius of the tavern for the residences? The question.
The radius here of the tavern shows in which area you can place the tables and the market stalls. So this is the maximum distance that the cooks of the tavern will use to buy the ingredients for their food or to serve the tables. The units, the residents will go and eat at the tavern even if it's far more distant. So you don't have to place the residences inside, it can be even quite more distant.
All right.
Okay, I think for the initial food chain we have something here. Now we have the problem that the pumpkins are harvested and the fields still have a lot of pumpkins, but we don't have space right now anywhere. So it would have been smart to place a storage and store some pumpkins inside. We can still try to do that and maybe put it on priority to build it fast and define food pumpkins. So maybe some can be rescued before they are withering. Okay.
Is there an optimal or perfect number of tables or fields for the farm or tables for the tavern?
As very often in the game, it really depends on the situation. So it depends on the distance of the tables. If they are really close, more tables can be served by the cooks. It also depends how many mining buildings are served and delivered by the tavern, because the tavern will also create nutrition food. So it can you can even build taverns without any tables and just serve the mines from that tavern, or go the other way around, and that's both possible. But maybe a maximum number that makes sense is around 10. And even if the tavern is only creating comfort meals, then like 10 is maybe the maximum they can really serve. Okay, let's take a look a bit more what is going on here. Here we have the iron hut. So this hut is now waiting for meals. We have now our rations are almost gone completely. We have only 7 left, and the 7 are already reserved, so they are delivered somewhere. And now we have the iron hut here, but it's not working. It's not operating. And the tavern is not yet ready, so the tavern will soon deliver meals. But also the provisioner can deliver And we see here the provisioner has finished the first one and getting some meat and getting firewood. So it will soon also create rations, which can also be delivered to the mining buildings.
So I see you also strategically placed the provisioner next to the hunter's hut, so they don't have to walk that far to deliver the meat, right?
Yeah, it depends really for each individual building. For example, the provisioner gets delivered meat and the firewood, so woodcutters, not too far away. That's also nice. You can also place the provisioner where the objects are consumed. That's also a possibility. Can be also efficient, but it's probably a bit better to place it near to the buildings where the input resources are coming from.
Right.
Okay, in the meantime, we have found more of the village. We didn't find the center yet. The trading center is still hidden here in the fog. So let's ask our explorers to especially continue to explore into that direction. That's here. Since that means that we get familiar with the objectives of this tribe, and that would be really interesting. Okay, we have this one. Can switch it here. I also disabled rabbits at the hunters for now, because the deers and the boars deliver leather, and also the boars are an annoyance for my carriers, so I would like to hunt those animals first. And while we are on it, we can place a tailor. We can do it here, but I think we even get a bigger building here, so maybe we try the tailor on this side. And we can also place a weaver, but we don't have natural flax, so maybe we wait a bit with the weaver. At the tailor, what do we want to produce? Maybe we can use a few more backpacks sooner or later for our construction carriers or traders, but initially what we really need is light armor to make sure that we can recruit the rangers. That will be really important. And let's build our first weaponsmith. Fits in here nicely. So the weaponsmith, we can already turn on bronze swords that we want in more or less unlimited amount of them. We can really use a lot. And that will enable us to recruit the basic soldiers at least.
There was another question about the pumpkins. So will the market stalls be flooded with pumpkins now, or even without the settings, if there's no other food available?
There is a kind of a limitation. A marketplace as you can see, there's a market fountain here, and all the buildings, all the market stalls that belong to this market fountain are kind of together are one marketplace. And the marketplace takes a maximum of 6 full piles of one commodity, and the pile has 10 commodities. That means 60 pumpkins is the maximum that this marketplace will take. But of course, if I have more marketplaces in other locations, it will also take the pumpkins. That's something that usually happens later in the game. Now the cooks are coming out. We see for the first time that they are preparing meals, they are getting the firewood. The tables are not yet used, because the cooks do the nutrition meals for the mines with priority, and only if the mines are in somewhat okay state in nearby and there are nutrition meals ready for pickup in reserves, they will start to cook comfort meals. And we see obviously that was the case. The first residents that are carriers living in the cottages are coming now to the tavern to eat. And this will help to increase our population. You can see here we are at 326 total population. And since we will get attacked soon, it's also important that we get new people, because we will potentially lose some of our Pagonians in the fights. So it's time for recruitment buildings, I would say. These are quite big. Let's place the military academy that fits here. We do it like this. Very nice. And still go around. And also we would like to get the Adventurers Guild to be able to recruit the Rangers. This one here. And we can already then tell, okay, definitely as soon as we can, we want to recruit soldiers, the simple ones, which need the bronze sword and the wooden shield. Unlimited amount, as many as we can get. For the other units, I will not add that yet, so we will take a look later what happens. And in the Adventurers Guild, we can also say we want to recruit the Rangers, so we can already enable that. The tailor is in production, will create the light armor. The wood workshop is already producing torches and shields. We already have some here. Also the wooden cogwheels are done. That's really nice. The toolsmith is working, doing some production orders. So I will take a look here at which tools we are currently lacking. We have no more bows now, since we built some hunters, so we can tell the wood workshop here to create also a few bows. And since we will need shields and torches, it also makes total sense to place multiple wood workshops. So at least the second is what we need. So let's see where we can fit one. This area is already every space used. We should get rid of those trees, by the way. So let's place another woodcutter here. And can use it to cut the trees. And also, and now let's try to find a good spot for the wood workshop, even if it's right now not the best situation. There's a small rock reef in here, so we can't use that spot. Let's see, maybe we go up here, but that's a bit too far. Now I will place it just on top here, I guess. It fits like this. We can do that. Okay, and we will also tell this wood workshop to go for shields and torches to make sure we get more units to defend ourselves. So what do we see? Here the units are still expanding. Oh, here we now see our first friends. We see some werewolves here in the fog. It's not many, so they will probably not attack us, but they will probably limit our abilities to expand in this direction. And as soon as the guards fight the werewolves, they get bitten by werewolves if they lose, and they are quite weak, so they will usually lose. And that's not what we want to happen, what we want to do, that the werewolves get more and more by sending in weak combat units. So what we will do is first to make sure they are not extending further in this direction. So we tell the guards to extend maybe in this direction for now. And on the other side, yeah.
Will the number of werewolves increase, or are they staying the few of them as they were, as we just seen?
The number will increase if they bite people.
Okay.
So we'll get new werewolves that way, and of course this can become very dangerous. We have also seen that there's some silver here, and this is good against werewolves. So let's quickly continue to extend in this direction to make sure we get our hands on the silver.
I had a pretty interesting question earlier about the geologist, which is not yet there for early access, but will be next year at some point. What it's about these underground mining things, and if the way we see the resources will change, like stone, coal, iron, in the UI.
Yeah. So what will change is there will be this subsurface mining. You can also find some of the resources you already have in the game. You can also find below the surface in the future, and there will also be different new resources, like for example there will be gold added, or there will be gems that you can harvest yourself, and the resources will be hidden, of course, so the geologist has to find them first. There will still be surface mining, so it's not like everything will be below the surface, but maybe half of it or even more, it also depends on map generation, will be hidden and needs to be spotted first.
Someone just said yippee in the chat.
So we have a bit of news here. We have found the trading center of another faction in the meantime. So the red faction here, we found the trading center. So let's build our own trading post somewhere not too far away. Let's see where we could do it. Maybe not traders camp, trading post. Could even build it here, but maybe there's too many boars here. Could go a bit more to the west, maybe here, and it would be safer for transport. Okay, let's do that.
Another question from the chat is, will gold be used for advanced units in the near future?
The purpose of gold, there will be also two things what you can do with gold. One is to store gold coins in the treasury, and the other one is not yet public. Weaponsmith almost done, so let's take a look at construction materials. We are still a bit short on softwood beams. I just placed a third sawmill here to make sure that we are catching up. And also stone is just about right, the amount. So we have enough stone, but the processing is just about right. So I built a fourth stonemason up here. So this should be sufficient for the pace we probably need on this map. Okay, we've placed the trading post. We can take a look at it and see what we get offered by the other faction. We can already do this now while the trading post is under construction. So we can see that they ask us to deliver silver bars, and they want 20 of those, and we get 2 faction points for each that we deliver. But honestly, as long as we have werewolves on the map, I will probably prefer to use the silver myself and deliver that later. They are also offering magic torches. That's a very good equipment which we can't produce ourselves initially. If we deliver them 4 iron lances, we will get 1 torch each. 15 times is the offer. That's interesting if you have to fight ghosts. We didn't find ghosts yet, but maybe later. And these trades are not yet available, so we need friend status with them first. That means 100 faction points to be able to use these trades. So we will take a look at these later. And there are more objectives. Beside delivering silver, they ask us to build 2 statues, which are somewhere hidden on the map. We need to find the construction sites first. And we have a notification that we discovered one of those construction sites. It's here up in the mountains. Well, quite close to the werewolves, which are here on the west side. And we have to complete this construction site. And we didn't find the second one yet, so it's hidden. And they ask us to supply an outpost with meat and firewood. And this outpost is on the far side of the map, it seems. So this is revealed now. You can see there's fog all around, but the outpost is now visible. And we can see on the map, it's in the far northwest corner. That means we need to extend in this direction anyway, sooner or later. So let's place another vegetable farm. It's a good spot for cabbage. And maybe like this here. Let's see. And plant some cabbage here. You can still get around here.
There was another question about the residential buildings and how the displayed numbers regarding the newborns are interpreted.
Again, please, sorry, I missed it.
The question is, how are the displayed numbers on residential buildings regarding newborns interpreted?
Okay. Yeah, we are currently changing that interface. What you can see here is, this is already kind of the newest version where there's a TNF, which means the text you see here is not yet confirmed, the translation. But what you can see here is that we need 5 points here for each newborn, and that the score in this building is currently 4. So every time a resident goes to the tavern and consumes a meal, the point score will go up. And as soon as we have 5 points, there will be a newborn in this building. And we can take a look here. Here, for example, we have already 11 points and we have a newborn. The small building can have only 1, and that basically means as soon as this newborn is a grown-up carrier, we will get 2 more newborns in this building immediately. So that means we will get overall already here 3 more newborns. And you can see our total population started to increase. We are now at 370 already. That means that it's growing slowly, but it's already growing. So the meals we have right now is only pumpkins with water, but we also have some meat. So it's deer meat, pumpkin, and water for the comfort meals. So that's not too bad, because deer meat is the best meat for comfort meals. So let's place a bit more farmland here. You can see down here in the corner what the land is suited for. So if I'm now hovering over the default grassland, you can see it's very good for pumpkins, but not that great for anything else. But here the muddy ground is best and perfect for cabbage. So we are now trying to use the spots here, which are, especially this one is not anymore. Here we can place one more, which is best suited for the cabbage, to make sure that we can plant cabbage in this farm. And we don't need to preserve the wood, so I guess that's enough. And let's choose cabbage.
Will only the idle Pagonians that are in the houses move to the tavern, or who is going to the tavern to eat?
The eating at the tavern has kind of priority before carrying. So it's definitely the case that they are going to eat, but you have to imagine in each cottage, only one resident would go to eat simultaneously, because the cottage has room for 10 units, but only one space for a new baby, while the bigger buildings, the residences, have room for 3 babies. So up to 3 from the residences can go to eat in the tavern. Okay. In the meantime, we found here silver, and here in the fog we see bandits. So we have to stop expanding here if we don't want to lose our guards. We still have all 10, so let's switch direction. Let's try to go this way, because we didn't discover yet what is here. We can do that. So we are attacked by bandits somewhere. So there was probably, there's a dead bandit here. So we were able to defeat the bandit. Maybe we had losses ourselves, maybe not. Let's see how many we have here. Yeah, there's only 8 of 10 guards now left. So obviously 2 guards were killed somewhere. So that means over here, there's more bandits coming. And here we are expanding. So there's thieves stealing stuff. Firewood, now that's not too bad. You can steal firewood. But this one steals a rope. That's mean. So the thieves are disguised. They look like my carriers. And we need rangers to be able to identify them and to defeat them. So now it's these units here. Here are the werewolves, and here we are getting probably closer to the thieves. We can still expand a bit in this direction, but as mentioned, we don't want to get closer to the werewolves yet. So let's see what is our recruitment doing, because there's bandits lurking around here in our village and we want to get rid of them. So we see the first soldiers here obviously have been recruited, and since we didn't order them to go anywhere yet, they will be going to the ship unless we order them to another place. So we can start here, maybe we go down to 5 guards and tell this building to take some soldiers. The first soldiers are coming, so we will also change the interface to see how many soldiers and rangers we have, then we have a better overview. Okay, so we see there's 6 shields already, but only no swords, no bronze swords, only 2 are prepared. So maybe let's place another weaponsmith to craft more weapons. Okay, also the market stalls, most are used. We can place a few new ones. Here, there's still one fitting. It makes sense to build a connection here if we can. That's enough up here. Maybe we can still get a few cottages down here or leave enough space for another marketplace. This way, that way. Let's do it that way. Okay. Now it's time also, since we are expanding quite some way here, we built the cabbage. Excellent. So we can also place now some construction camps. This will help us that our construction workers don't have to walk that far distances all the time. Let's place one here. So connection here maybe makes sense, like a shortcut. Otherwise people walk around here all the time. On the other side, do we also find somewhere space here? Maybe up here I can place another construction camp. That means that our construction units, like the diggers, the builders, and the construction carriers, will not go back to the ship every time. So if there's space in the construction camps, they will move there, and it means when we are placing new buildings, they won't have to walk that kind of far distance. Okay, let's see. We have more iron ore here, so we can place more iron nuts. We have more copper here. It's also fine. How about coal? Not that much here. A bit, but better than nothing. Maybe try it like this. But there was more coal over here. I think this might be the closest place. Maybe we can get a path around this building already. No, it's too tight yet. So we need to find a different location. Maybe we can do it like this, and the units can sneak in between. No, not yet either. Here it's too tight. So unless we have more territory here, we need to build it at a different place. Well, then let's go here. That's also not a bad place. They can just walk here inside to pick up the coal.
It's not a question, it's just a comment from Sofadrache. This stream is so helpful. I already learned a lot today. Just wanted to tell you.
Thanks. That's nice to hear. I have to say, playing and talking at once is something, and explaining, it's not something I'm that used to. So I guess many of the streamers are much better at that. And therefore, my, let's say, my performance in playing suffers a bit, but I try my best.
I think you're doing great.
Well, we already have again bandits in our land here, so we really need more military units. It's not like if you're getting raided by a few bandits or a few thieves, it's not like it's the end of the world. They will steal something and then head back to their camp. And that's not nice because your units here are in panic and they are walking away or running away. But it's not like you have to give up at this point. So you can recover from these attacks and build your military units and place them in the important locations to be able to defend yourself. So, talking about that, let's take a look again. What do we have? We already have now 14 rangers, so the recruitment of the rangers started, but we didn't assign them anywhere. We definitely need more guard buildings to be able to use our units. So, I think we will place one up here. This could be used especially for fear nords, which we want for the werewolves. And over here, there's also the bandits we saw. Maybe we place another guard building here on the right side. And we tell this guard building, yeah, I think territory expansion is difficult soon because we have enemies everywhere around us. So we can even start to switch one of the military buildings to host guards, soldiers, and kick the guards out completely. We will do that here now.
Do we already have the tooltips, or are we going to have tooltips? What unit fights which enemy, so we get a little bit more information about that?
Yeah, the tooltips about what the units are exactly doing, and that you can select units and they have a selection info. That is a feature which is really missing. and it's currently implemented. So this will be in one of the very early game updates, that you have also the data available. We can provide it on the homepage at this point, but it's not yet in the game. Let's see here. So what I do here is I mix soldiers with rangers. That's a good team to spot thieves. And I think they are already all here. So let's have them patrol, because here we have thieves coming probably from the east. So we will have this group patrol in this area to make sure we are protecting our village from thieves coming from the east. So the next tower we just built here, we will do the same. We will ask for a mix of soldiers and some rangers. And where do we want them to patrol? Here are the bandits. We don't know exactly where the enemies will be coming from. Well, we see there are some bandits again here getting into our city. And here we still have the guards claiming. But I think I will stop that for now and instead also ask for military units here to make sure we can better defend. So let's place this group on the north side and this group, as soon as the building is built and the units are there, a bit more on the northwest. That should help us that the enemies cannot easily lurk in our city like they are doing right now. Something has been stolen. Here we have a thief, but it's disguised no longer, so it's getting attacked. And we can see, hopefully, well, the thief was successful. It scares one of our people, picks up again. He has stolen border stones. But more units of us are coming, which are patrolling here now. We can send them over and kill the thief, if it's not yet happening. So we tell our units now to go here. I don't think the thief will be able to kill all of them. There's quite a big camp of thieves here in the east. So securing this side definitely makes sense. Okay, thief is finally gone. Good. To protect our city, we also need to take a look at the werewolves. We have found silver here, so let's place a silver mine. Here we go. It's not that much, but enough to start a production and get some silver weapons. What else do we have here? We are definitely still short on coal, and there's coal here. Good place. What else do we have here? We have the silver. There's no iron in this area. Coal was mentioned. There's also a bit of copper. Definitely good, because we need it for tools and for weapons, so let's get that. By the way, tools. Let's take a look at the toolsmith. We only have one for now, so we should keep the toolsmith busy, and currently it's not busy anymore, so we have only 3 hammers left. So let's get some hammers done. 3 axes is okay, 19 pickaxes. A few more knives will be good. And we have no saws. Also 3 is okay for now, and chisels are done, but we will probably not build more stonemasons very soon. But the pliers are also only at 3, and we will need more smithies soon, so let's get some more pliers and even some more hammers for the smithies. Okay, that should do it here. Again, let's take a look. Now recruitment works more smooth. We have shields and swords incoming. We have some copper still, some coal. We have no iron yet, because we have no smelting works. That's a good idea to build some. One here in the east for the silver, and the coal we get here, and maybe 2 in the west, sorry, and maybe 2 here in the east, where we get iron and coal. See, there's a good spot. Maybe we can put here. Okay.
So in 2 days, when everyone can get their hands on Pioneers of Pagonia themselves, are they able to play the exact map?
Yes.
Yes, you're playing right now. Maybe we share the map ID later so they can try themselves.
Oh, it's not necessary because this is one the new predefined map. So that means this is map number 6 of the predefined section. So in 2 days' time, well, about
less than 40
hours, you can play this map yourself and try.
Great. Would you say this is a rather more difficult map?
I would say, of course, you have to get familiar with the game and learn it. So for a beginner, this is a quite difficult map. But if you played the game maybe 4, 5, 6 maps, then this becomes realistic to be able to win this map. And of course, there you can choose much more difficult settings because you have to imagine there will be people out there who will be much better than me, and they need a challenge too. So this is why, of course, we have different options, and you can really choose a map full of enemies and very difficult enemies if you want to. And then you will definitely get some serious harassment in your village. But I have to mention also, of course, we are promoting now, because it is new, also the feature that we have here with conflict. But you can also decide to play completely peacefully without any time pressure if that's a preferred way that you want to play. Good. So here we are still waiting. Now there are the rangers and the soldiers incoming. So we are really getting a good amount of military units. It's maybe time to build the first garrison. That's a bigger military building. And this one will enable us also then to send bigger attack waves to enemies to make sure that we can gain some potential victories. We can place it right in the center of our village here. And it will not be used to extend our territory, but instead, I would say it's mostly for soldiers. You'll put a few rangers inside, just to be able also to spot the thieves if you need any, but it will be focused then on the soldiers. Okay, the silver hut is done and getting miners and food to operate. We have the smelting works soon done. That means we will get silver bars. And if we have silver bars, then we can also start to forge silver blades. So I will already enable it. As soon as we get some of these, I would like to produce the silver blades, and this means we can recruit fear nords. And we need those against the werewolves. That's a very safe method to overcome the werewolf camp. We can also see there's a second village here on the map. So after this red-colored village, we see a more violet one here in the fork. So let's try to get our explorers here to learn more about this faction too. The village center might be somewhere here. So let's try to get it here. Our explorers are potentially scared away by the boars here. So we are already raiding a lot of animals here, but it's probably too many still around.
So another question from the chat
Sure.
is, the werewolves are more patient until they attack in the lower difficulties, or am I mistaken there?
You are mistaken. It depends also on the camp size, and these werewolf camps are really small, and they have only enough units to basically defend themselves. So these units will not come to my village. The only thing that can happen is if I'm, let's say, dumb enough at this point, and they eat here my guards now because I didn't choose to remove guards, then they will get more werewolves. And if they get enough, they will start definitely attacking my city too. But if you choose, this is kind of the third level of how difficult the enemies themselves are. If you choose the fourth or higher one, also the werewolves will attack on their own on your city. And therefore, in this case, it's a bit more, let's say, still beginner friendly, that you can take your time and prepare and attack them when you're ready. Then let's order fear nords. for this one. We can also, why not, order 2 rangers, again, to prepare here in case of there are thieves coming by. Of course, the Fear Nods are not yet there, but we already order 8 to come here as soon as they are recruited.
Maybe you can elaborate on the differences between Fear Nods and Rangers, because I've seen some question also on our Discord about them.
Yeah, sure. So we can take a look at the recruitment building. The Fear Nods, the basic level of the Fear Nods, they need the silver blade and light armor. The light armor can be crafted with leather or with a lot of cloth. And for the Rangers, it's a torch and light armor, so both need the armor, but they need different weapons. The torch is much easier to produce. The Rangers are able to reveal the thieves and to attack them. They have an attack bonus against thieves. And the Rangers are also fearless, so they are able to also attack ghosts. They are the best suited unit to attack ghosts because they are comparatively cheap to produce, while the Fear Nod, also fearless, can also attack ghosts, but it's more expensive because of the silver blades. So you have to, the Fear Nods are ideal against the werewolves because of the silver blades. And there's also an advanced version of each one, the Skilled Ranger and the Heroic Fear Nod. But they are more difficult to produce because the magic torches and magic blades need gems, and these gems cannot be harvested in the early access version by yourself. So you can only get them by trade, so they are quite rare. Sometimes you have trade offers and you can recruit them, but sometimes not. So you maybe need more of the other units in that case.
Right, thank you.
Anytime. We found the second trade center now of the more violet colored faction. So, and here we have some bandits, but we were this time, sorry, because I missed the audio notifications. I'm usually a bit late, so we still see the corpses here. And we have seen that at least our units were able to defeat. And here we also see a nice feature of the game in that case is our units here are defeated, but if we have spare units, they will get reordered automatically. So we don't have to take care of that. The setting is done here that we want 7 soldiers and 3 rangers in this building, and they will automatically get back to the building if we have any losses here. And that's, of course, definitely helpful to manage it. But let's take a look what the other faction wants as an objective. So they want that they want to be impressed by our population. We need 1,000 population to impress them. That's still a bit to go. And on the other hand, they have also a building which we should supply. That's also somewhere up in the far north. So that will be something we probably cannot do at this point. But let's also check if they have any interesting trade offers. Here's our trading post. So what do they have? For border stones, they will give us copper. We have 100 border stones right now, so that's not a bad choice. So more metal is always a good thing. And since we are currently not expanding at all, or not much at least, we can accept that trade. So I think that makes sense. So let's start this trade. Now border stones will be delivered to our trading post and then transported to that faction. But to do so, we also need trade carriers. So we didn't recruit any. We will go to our guild hall and recruit a few trade carriers. We still have 12 backpacks available, so I would say 10 is okay. Let's keep a few backpacks in store.
Maybe time for another question from the
Sure.
chat. Do you plan on implementing some of the mechanics from previous classic games? For example, knights and merchants feeding the soldiers or upgrading buildings for more productivity?
Those 2 things are currently not planned, so we don't have building upgrades planned for now in Pioneers of Pagonia. And the soldiers will not need food especially. So what they need to fight better is they need wealth. So this will give them a combat boost. You can place a treasury somewhere. So for example, we can do it here. There's some space. And we can store valuable materials in the treasury, and this will improve the combat power of our units. So what we can do here is we place the treasury. Now let's place a mint somewhere. We have the silver coming from here and some copper, so we could place it here on the west side. Also would fit here, that's maybe a bit more secure. Let's do it here. But as I need the silver really for the silver weapons, so I will not create silver coins, only some copper coins. That is maybe good enough. And we are obviously out of cogwheels, which means that we should produce a few more here in the wooden workshop. That's nice here. Our garrison is now done, and we are it's getting staffed. The rangers are already in. We don't have enough soldiers yet to completely fill it, so we have only 5 in there, and 2 more are incoming. Also, let's take a look. We've now crafted our first iron bars. That means we can now also create the better swords. Let's go to the weaponsmith. And now we can not only craft the bronze sword, but also the iron sword. And this is quite a difference. The units which are using the iron sword are twice as strong as the one with the bronze sword. So let's ask for that. And in the recruitment building, we can keep going with the bronze sword, but let's also recruit the stronger soldiers. That will help us definitely. Okay. Let's see how far the first fear nodes are. What is about silver? We have 2 silver bars here. They're going to the weaponsmiths. Do we have any at the recruitment building yet? Not yet. No silver blades. Okay. One here. Yeah, the first silver blade is obviously crafted now. So I don't want to recruit that many fear nodes. But let's maybe go for 10 initially. We have the light armor, and the first silver blades are incoming in a minute, so we should be able to man that tower soon with fear nodes. And then we can take a look at the werewolves. They are hiding somewhere here in the fog. Hopefully we can defeat them at that point.
Is there a priority on which military building gets staffed first?
No, right now it's like one usually gets filled up and then the next one is done. So as long as you are missing units. So if you want to, if you don't have enough and want to make sure they are moving to the right building, you have to decrease the number in another building to make sure they're moving over to the other place. Okay. I think the bandit camp down here is also quite strong, so we cannot really easily attack that. We can try maybe to visit here that thief camp. Let's see how many units we have here. This one is 1. Here we have 7 soldiers and 3 of the rangers. So let's take a look. So it's also a strategy to weaken the enemy camps, and if we weaken it enough to the point that it only has a few units left, it will no longer visit us. And thieves and bandits, if they are visiting your city and they are stealing stuff, delivering it back to their base, that means they are successful and they will potentially get new thieves and bandits adding up to them, because, well, it seems to be a great opportunity to steal stuff at your village. Let's see. So here now we have our units attacking. We are somewhat at the maximum range of our building, and there's really a lot of thieves behind that. But at least we can probably already reduce the number of thieves at this point. Still 2 of our soldiers fighting. Well, now it's over. Need to restaff.
More soldiers. How many would you guess do you have to send there to clear them all, or do you just send them in waves?
I think to clear that completely, it depends on which unit types. So from the weak soldiers, we maybe would need 30. From the stronger ones, maybe 15 to get this sorted. Okay, so let's ask again when they're restaffed to stay here to make sure they're not going there. So what I will do here is now I will disable that for now to make sure that they are going all to the garrison, that we get the maximum amount of units in the garrison soon. And up here, let's see, the first Fear is now incoming, so it takes a bit of more time, but soon we can also attack here. What is our trade doing? Is there anything happening there? Let's take a look. Here we are with the trade building. We see that a lot of border stones are now delivered to our trade outpost, and that the traders, the trade carriers, are picking them up and trying to deliver them. So already a few arrived. Maybe the wild boars here are causing trouble. I will tell my hunters to specifically hunt this area to make sure that the wild boars leave our people alone. Also, we can tell our woodcutter to cut the trees here, because wild boars and deer needs forest as a habitat space. So if we remove the forest, they cannot live there anymore. And well, it's at least also a possibility to secure this area to make sure that the boars will not disturb our trade route all the time. We have also seen that, we have delivered some of the border stones. We didn't get copper yet, because we have to deliver 5 border stones first, and we will be able to get the 6 copper. And if we take a look at the trading post that's up here, it's quite a long travel distance they have to go. The other faction already prepared the copper, so the copper is here already ready for us to pick up, to be picked up.
Is it possible that the player can change his player color?
That's not yet possible, but it's planned that in the game setup you can choose which color you want to play. So right now you are fixed with the blue color, but that change will come. We will probably be able to choose between 8 different colors, and we have another 12 different colors which are reserved for the NPC villages. Okay, let's see. What is our Fear Node count? We are still at 1. What is about the silver? Why it's not going forward? We have the weaponsmiths. This weaponsmith waits for silver. This one has 3 silver bars available and is crafting the next silver blade. It will take a bit of time, but soon we should have more. Okay, here we are getting now at 13 soldiers, so this garrison will be full soon. We can already maybe move a bit forward to make sure that we are protecting some locations that make sense. Let's see where we want to go. Maybe we can place them here. But let's not get to the werewolves yet. I think we forgot here to place another fountain, so we are short on water. 6 water, that's not much. So let's place another fountain here, because the vegetable farm otherwise will not be able to water the plants, and then they will wither, and that's not really what we want. Good, okay. Well, I think at this point we've shown a lot of what the game has to offer here. So the major features, the new ones which are in now, are one is about combat. Then you have the trade feature, and we have also the objectives for the player that you want to meet to get friends with the other factions. And we have the map generator, as mentioned before. So these are the 4 bigger new features that are part of the game. Of course, there's many more, like for example, that the mining buildings now need nutrition meals, and well, also that you can manage the military distribution. There's also new buildings inside the game which have not been there before. For example, the artisan blacksmiths who can enchant weapons, and that's also a new building, and of course the trade buildings. There's also a trader's camp that will help you to position your units, that they don't have to walk from the ship the full distance every time, so you can place that much closer to the trading post, for example, to make sure the units don't have that much walk distance. Well, thanks a lot, Katharina. I hope you enjoyed that session, and before we stop, let's see. At least we have 2 Fear Nodes now, so let's at least take a look at the werewolves before we stop.
Let's do it.
So it's only 2 Fear Nords, but they are usually quite strong. But ooh, these are savage werewolves.
Oh,
These are
wow.
even the strong versions. So that could be. We've defeated one. That's
What I like
excellent.
that they don't fight in the fog. They explore the region
Yeah, it
while
gets
fighting.
revealed.
Yeah.
So, and if the werewolf defeat one, you can see now here, then that unit is going back inside.
I love their walk, like they've been infected. You can see it.
Well, we have killed 3, but we've also gained 3 new werewolves now. So it was not really a great success. The Fear Nods are both still alive, so they can still fight the new werewolves coming out. But of course, it didn't make that much sense to send in the adventurers too. We can maybe also take a look with the garrison here. Maybe we want to, how many units do we have inside here now? So we are almost at 25. So still the weak units, but we could again try doing, oh, that's not the, thieves are not in range, sadly. Maybe we take a look here at the bandits and can attack the bandit camps down here. That's in range, so let's go here and see how this fight goes.
That is quite a lot of soldiers running there. Is it guards and soldiers?
It's some rangers.
Oh,
And
the rangers,
soldiers, yeah.
sorry.
So now our Fear Nods are dead, so it didn't really work out that well. So there are still some werewolves left here. So next time we maybe need a few more Fear Nods, but then we should be able to defeat the camp. Let's stay here. So we have another one already arriving. So let's take a look down here. Where are our here are our units coming. So we are attacking now this bandit camp area. So there's 2 or 3 camps down here, at least 2 we can already see. I think we should maybe pick a different location and then attack more like up here. Oh, they are already down there. Okay, that's fine. So let's go here. So at least now we see the full camp area. So there are still some. Maybe we are able to defeat one of the camps, but it's still some left. Okay. Good. So more soldiers needed, but as you can see now we are already on the way to strike back instead of only getting raided. So we are getting forward step by step. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the session and well, it's still, let's take a look at the clock, 11:07. So it's 41 hours to go about until early access is available.
Yes, we're really excited. Thank you so much for watching. In 2 days, you get to explore Pagonia yourself, and you're more than welcome to join our Discord server if you haven't already done that, and get in contact with us, share screenshots, share map IDs, and just join the community. So thank you. Have a nice evening, and hopefully see you in the next stream.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye, and have a nice evening.
Bye, guys.
Bye.